Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for September 13th, 2020, with your host, Spaceager2448, and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi, that transition took way too long because I couldn't click on buttons today.
Also, hey, happy Kaiser Day for everyone who gives a shit about Kaiser Day.
Yeah, I don't see any hands up, so okay.
I know people do because people post gifs and shit of that asshole, and I'm just like, I don't want to celebrate a day with this dipshit. I get it. We celebrate his assholery as like this is the true asshole secondary writer, but like, oh god. But fortunately, folks, we are not covering the original series for at least 6 weeks.
Yes.
We are bored, we are tired, we need something fresh, and why not cover Gundam?
Like,
something.
Hopefully when we come back, we might have like 4 or 5 episodes that are kind of boring before we get into the last batch.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. God help us if we get to the end and it stays like this.
You know, and I was gonna say, Gundam, the thing that you and I collectively have a very limited exposure to.
Yes. Except I think you've got more exposure to this because you've actually watched this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've watched this, the sequel series, and more or less all of the build series and some of G Gundam, which unfortunately means I've watched all of the outlier things of Gundam. I have not watched a proper Gundam series.
That's actually kind of funny.
Because for reference, folks, Gundam is not toyetic naturally. It's far more like grounded drama, space drama, serious, war is hell, all that. It's far more serious. Problem is, I'm attracted more to G Gundam, where a Gundam is literally just a windmill. And if you think I'm joking...
No, I'm not, because there was a Gundam that was literally a ball in this batch, so no.
Oh, did you miss the Bell one? Because that Bell one's also from G Gundam. It's in the background in one shot. Yeah, it's in the background of one. Okay, it's in the background of like one shot. But yeah, for reference, folks, no, I'm not. Here's Windmill Gundam from G Gundam.
You always catch me when I don't have... Why is that not on this one? Wait, why is that not on this one? Why do I not have that? Hold on. That's even a better question. Okay, 1 second.
You have Windmill Gundam. You have a Gundam that's literally called Tequila Gundam. That in the new collector's edition of the series, you got a shot glass with Tequila Gundam on it.
Think it was that?
I think this is the Gundam for like Neo Netherlands, I think.
Yes. I can't remember what I set up. That's always good.
No.
1 second. Because apparently that is not the link, or it is not working. One of the two. I'm almost positive that was the link. Yeah, that was the link. So it's not working. Why is that not working?
I'm trying to find the one that was in the background.
Yeah, why is that not working? Wait a minute. Hold on here. What the heck?
Alright, not you. There it is! The Vendala Gundam!
well.
Oh, whoops.
Did the Discord API break?
Probably.
Yep.
There's the Gundam that showed up in the background.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. The Discord API broke. So I've got to fix that.
There's the Gundam that showed up in the background in one of these episodes. I don't remember which one. I think it's like technically like the second or third episode. It's the Mandala Gundam. So just
I don't. Let's see. I don't think I've got a good way of showing them.
Aww.
Not without actually switching over to fix something, because I can't actively be throwing that on while I'm going.
No.
Let me try something here.
People don't get to enjoy the best, one of the best things about G Gundam, which is its stupid designs, because that was a series they're like, we're never gonna make toys of this series. Fuck it, let's just go buck wild. Let's just do whatever we want. Here's dumb windmill Gundam and dumb Mandala Gundam, which is just, let's just strap a windmill to the chest of a Gundam, and here's a Gundam riding a bell. Cause fuck it. So yeah, I am attracted to the outliers of the franchise, which is the entire series of shows, because there's 4 series now that are just like Gundams are what we see it as, is with the franchise and toys and shows and stuff. And here are shows that acknowledge that, are just like, here's magic space particles that let you battle them and beat the shit out of them. And then G Gundam, which is...
I've got them both on stream now.
Yes! 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 Drink it in, folks. This is the things from the show I like, that I have not watched all of, but I'm fairly aware of it. Because G Gundam is pretty much like a action movie, like a martial arts action movie. Ty and them did it on their podcast. They also did Wing Gundam, which is apparently or Gundam Wing, which is apparently garbage. But people like it, and I'm just like, why? I've listened to the entire podcast series on this. Why do people like Gundam Wing? It sounds like a terrible show. Like an absolutely terrible show. And just the worst thing to try to get through.
Because reasons.
Yeah.
People like dumb things.
Yep. So, that explanation out of the way, Tommy, I assume your experience is none.
Yes.
Okay. It's just pretty much whatever I told you, including this.
Yep.
Wonderful. So yeah, folks, in the 6 weeks, in our, I guess, 6-week break, we're covering Gundam Build Fighters, which was the first of several Gundam Build Insert Name Here series that are mainly here to promote toys, like all of those early 2000 series anime that you might remember if you grew up as a kid at the time. Because they were all pretty much like this, weren't they?
Pretty much, yeah.
But thankfully, this is only like 25 episodes. So, how'd you feel going into these? Oh, one last note. If you want to watch along with us, since I tweeted out the watch list yesterday, it is free on YouTube from the official Gundam YouTube. All of the series are. So you can just watch it. Not only is there English subs, there is an English dub, and the subtitles are in multiple languages. So if there is a different language that you are far more comfortable watching a series in, they might have you covered. Because I think there's like 6 or 7 different subtitle tracks you can pick for the series, besides English.
There was a dub also?
Yes, there is an English dub. It's also on the YouTube for free. I have not watched the English dub. It came out after the sub.
Have you seen that?
I have not watched the dub. I only watched the sub of all of this. I've not watched the dub. The dub, I think, came out like months later.
Mainly because I have to wonder how much difference there is.
It's probably not that different because it's literally, I think, the same videos. Just here's a dub track. I'm pretty sure it's probably identical.
You think, anyhow?
I think. I don't know. Someone who has watched the Build Fighters dub in sub, let us know what it actually is like. Because I didn't bother watching the dub because, it came out like 6 months after I watched the series. I'm like, I don't want to watch the dub. I've already watched the series. Why would I watch the dub of this?
Because reasons. I didn't say it was good reasons, I just said reasons.
Yes. Also, you know what I forgot to do?
What?
I forgot the dashboard. Guess what I'm doing now?
You know, I don't know what's worse, the fact that I didn't realize the bot didn't say the dashboard had been updated, or the fact that I didn't bother to even ask if you did this time around.
Yeah. Anyway, how'd you feel going into these 4 episodes?
Truthfully, I didn't quite know how to feel going into it.
And?
The opinion kind of changed when I got done.
Up or down?
Up.
Okay, good. So like, I honestly really like this. I think of the 4 series,
I have to think a lot of that was stemming from, Ichigo's been kind of on the side.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Saber hasn't really been helping any.
And here's this 25 episode series being like, oh, we're just gonna jam through shit and just have some fun. Do you get any of these references? No. Does it matter? Nope.
Which is for the best.
I honestly like that where it's just like, we are referencing shit. Are you confused? Don't worry. We acknowledge that you are probably confused about this if you have no idea what anyone's talking about. It's fine. Here's giant robots punching each other.
Like they should.
Yes. None of this matters. It's only there for people who care and are deeply entrenched in the Gundam lore. But yeah, of the 4 series, I think this one's probably the best. Try is also pretty good, and that's the sequel series to this. And then you have Build Divers, which is not particularly good. But Build Divers Re-Rise was really good. And Divers Re-Rise are technically, I guess, sequels to the 2 Fighter series, but there's no acknowledgements of fighters, I think, in those 2. But there is references to this series and Build Fighters Try. So if we ever do Try, we'll have references to this series because it takes place, I think, like several years after this series. But yeah, for reference, this is a rewatch for me. No surprise, 90% of what we watch on TGSR is things I've watched or things I've known about.
Very true. Extremely true.
I am apparently the de facto TV guy for the show.
Yes, you are.
Yep. So, anything else before we hit the recaps?
No.
Alright, then we kick off with episode 1, Sei and Reggie. We are off in space! As we see the first glimpse of the Build Strike Gundam launching and entering a big space battle, with Sei, our main character, or Sei Iori as our main character, piloting it. Unfortunately, The arm is a bit loose, as his dad tells him, phones in and tells him, it's like, you didn't put the arm together right, and then it pops off, and then he gets blown up. Fortunately, it's all a dream, and he wakes up and sees, ah shit, I forgot to put the arm together.
And by the way, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm sure the show explicitly goes into it later. But, yeah, the entire thing was a dream, as we find out.
Yes. Yeah, don't worry. No, the entire thing's a dream. The only thing that's not a dream in there is Dad.
Well, I mean, also, technically, yes. Right now, too.
Right.
That's why like, yes, the entire thing right now, technically.
Yes, Dad exists, and Dad is also alive. He's just busy at work. So, we do not have dead Dad, or dead Mom, as we find out soon.
Yeah, that one we find out quick.
Yeah. Because, say his mom calls him to come down and help with the store. Since she has to go out and get groceries. Because they run a model kit store that sells the Gundam model kits, because we are in a world where Gundam is just a franchise that sells toys and has shows and stuff. So, like a normal world.
Yeah, I was going to say, so we're in the real world.
Not for long!
Nope.
Also, their store gets no customers because it's a terrible location, and it's not famous enough to draw it in because, well, outside of the location, so... How are they still in business?
Yeah. Yeah, that. Extremely that. And, okay, on top of that, okay, you said his dad's busy with work.
Yes.
Except he says in here that his dad built the shop.
Yes.
So would the shop not be his dad's work?
No. He has a different job.
And it's going to tie in with the overall plot, right?
Eventually. Yeah. I'll just say it now. He's a Gundam cop.
You know, I almost figured he would kind of pop up like as a background player in one of these episodes.
Yes.
Just to kind of disappear again.
Yes. Yes.
Because I was getting those vibes because the show didn't explicitly say he was dead. So I'm like, he's here, he's just not here.
No, he's busy being a Gundam cop. Because that exists. That's a thing in this universe. We'll get to it later.
I'm sure it is as bonkers as it sounds.
Oh, we haven't hit the apex of bonkers with this franchise in of itself. Don't worry, there's plenty to get to.
I mean, to be fair, we have dealt with Fruit Jesus before, so I think Gundam Cop is fine.
Yeah. So at this point, while Say's busy watching this up, we cut over to Reggie, who's currently unnamed because we don't have a name for this weird person who's on top of a building just watching stuff as a cop drops.
I love how we don't get his name until the literal end of the first episode.
Yep. He's just weird red-haired person that doesn't understand this world. Anyway, he's just up on top of the building sightseeing until a cop tells him, "Get the fuck off the building, you stupid kid. What are you doing? Why are you here?" But back over the shop, father and son drop by. Dad is amazed by all the kits. And Say actually built all of them, and I can only tell you one of them.
Which is
exactly what?
Which is one more than I can tell you.
Well, I can tell you exactly what one
Okay, we might be back.
Let's like it.
I'm glad one of
Yay!
us can check. Twitch, really? I just literally had to refresh the page to get it to decide it was going to show it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. Also, thanks, Internet, for just randomly taking a dump. Anyhow.
Back to the episode where we're in the middle of it. So we're back over at the shop. Father and son are shopping. They see the Gundam all the Gunpla that Sei has built. Dad's impressed. The kid wants one. But that's when Sasaki enters, who's a strong Gunpla fighter. And he challenges Sei to a battle. And then we get introduced to the fact that you can take your Gunpla, which I think all of these are high-grade kits, is what they're showing in the series. Or high-grade models, technically. Which I think are... Fuck. I researched this a long time ago, and now I don't remember. How big were high-grade models? Oh my god. Now I'm not going to find an article that just tells me.
That's what I was fixing to say. Now you're not going to find the answer. Because now this is the internet telling you should have committed that to memory.
6-inch. Or 5-inch to 7-inch, depending on the model.
So, approximately 6.
More or less, somewhere in the middle. It depends on the kits, because some are bigger than the others. But I assume that's what all they're using. But they do battle with their Gundam, and Sei, unfortunately, is not a good pilot at the moment, so he loses fairly quickly. And also, they're able to battle with their Gunpla because they have a special dual arena, more or less, that disperses particles that get absorbed into the Gunpla and make it move. And also, it gets to produce beams and explosions. Because that's how particles work.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Anime show, I don't question.
Yeah. Magic science. Okay, cool.
It's like when a writer show just does something completely bonkers that could never happen. It's like, yes, okay.
Although I do have one question. How big are these arenas? Because the Gundams, when we've seen them before they get into the arenas, seem a bit big for the arenas. When we actually get into the arenas, it's like, did the arena get bigger when we go in for the fights? Because I swear we do.
Maybe? Like, I have to think that some of it is based off of how big the arena begins off of.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was something that kind of looked that way.
Yeah.
The rest of it, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, it did look like the arena size had something to do with that difference. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's a lot of mass shifting.
Oh, there's probably an incredible amount of mass shifting in the series. And an incredible amount of bullshit when we get to some stuff later. Of like, wait, how does this work?
Also, I am immensely confused why they went full on the toys are fighting as opposed to treating it similar to like amiibos, where you've got the physical thing that scans a digital copy in.
That's because that's what Build Divers is. Because Build Divers is an MMO, more or less. You build the actual model, and then you scan it into a machine, and then you VR into an MMO. So then you have like a virtual version of the Gundam. In this case, it's a physical version of it that has to fight and be destroyed, because you do rip up your model kit. Which seems like an expensive hobby after a while.
Yeah, especially if you suck at it.
Yeah. Anyway, Sei loses. The kid now wants the Gundam that Sasaki had, which I think is technically a Zaku, which are like evil Gundams, more or less. So I assume they are, from my limited knowledge.
I mean, we can go with that.
I can't wait for someone to come in here and be like, "No, that's not right." And I'm like, "Fucking explain what it is, what's correct," because I don't fucking know. Anyway, at this point, Sasaki suggests that Sei team up with him. Sei builds the Gundam. Sasaki uses them, and Sei declines because you're too rough with them. Go away. Stop it. No, I don't wanna. So, later in the day, Sei's out in town, seeing a promo for the 7th World Gunpla Championships, which is the big world championships. We'll get to those later in the series.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that's pretty much at a certain point all the series is going forward.
That's the back half of the series.
Yeah, it kind of felt that way.
That is not only the back half of the series, that is the entire... That is... Once we get through Tri, that is the entire thing everyone wants to see, because it's felt like we were building towards one of those at the end of Tri, and we haven't gotten it yet. But maybe we'll get it. It's one of those cases of, we have two different protagonists in Build Fighters and Build Fighters Tri, and we were promised a fight between the two of them, and we've not gotten that fight. And the fight is Sei versus the protagonist of Build Fighters Tri, and we've not gotten that yet. Like, that's the promise from the end of the series of, like, that will happen. But we haven't gotten it yet, and everyone is sad. But I think we're supposed to get it now. I think they're working on a little animated movie that is that, maybe.
Hopefully.
I hope so. I want to see that. I mean, why not? Sell some more toys. Or in this case, sell some more model kits, because that's all they sell. Anyway, Reggie now drops by, asks Sei what the hell this is, and he's like, it's fighting model kits. It's MMA, I guess.
And,
like, okay.
And so help me, I got a Sento and Ryuga vibe off of this scene right here, and I'm like, yep, okay.
Alright, I want to tell you this now. They are incredibly Sento and Ryuga. Looking back on the series now, no, they entirely have that relationship. Reggie is incredibly stupid.
I was kind of just like, okay, this isn't too bad, and then I saw that, and I'm like, never mind, now I'm hooked. Got it.
Yeah. No, they have an incredible Sento-Ryuga relationship. They are both, like, Reggie is incredibly stupid, unfortunately.
I don't
Sei
know, that
also
might be
has
a
his
good thing, to be fair.
Yeah. Also, MMA, technically you could say a G Gundam with all of its martial arts stuff. All that gets referenced in Build Fighters Tri. Build Fighters Tri is technically one giant reference to G Gundam because of a bunch of stuff it does. We'll get there. Anyway, a shop owner drops by now to confront Reggie about him accidentally stealing some food, because he doesn't understand what money is, or what anything is. We'll get to what he is later.
Yeah, and it makes sense, actually.
Yeah. But Sei steps in, says he'll pay for the bread, and he talks to Reggie afterwards. And at this point, Reggie gives him a little jewel that says, hey, make a wish, I'll show up and help for whatever the wish is. And Sei doesn't buy this because it's like, okay, weird person, whatever. So the next day, Sei's pretty much too focused on the rock to pay attention. Very common thing, very true. And we get introduced to Sheena, who's the female protagonist of this series. She's the main female character of the series. And also, the great person to have all the exposition explained to for us, the audience.
Yeah.
Because, thankfully, she's just as clueless as the both of us put together.
Which is helpful.
Yes.
That's one of those moments where that's good show writing, to have a character that can be the, oh, well, you don't quite understand this, here's what this is.
Yes. What is Gunpla? It's this thing. Okay, what is this? It's this thing. What does this do? It does this. Okay, cool. That's it. But that takes us back to the shop where Sei's mom says that Sei's new Gundam has a bit of the aura of his dad's stuff, which, weirdly enough, I think his dad's Gundam is not that customized, because I think it's literally just the original Gundam with some fancy weapons. Like the original Gundam. Where this is apparently based off the Strike Gundam, which is a thing somewhere. I don't know. There is going to end up being like 6 versions of this exact Gundam over the course of this entire series.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because because in all technicality, within these first 4, we're already introduced to 2, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 2 versions of it. This version and then the full package version.
Yeah. Like, I figured they didn't count them as the same.
I think they're technically the same. I think the base suit is the same. It's just all the armor.
The same.
Yeah, it's all the armaments that make it different. Anyway, this is when Sasaki shows back up. Wants Sei to team up with him. He says no. But he's like, fine, fight me. If you lose, you're with me for life. Let's go.
It actually wasn't all that. It was just basically, if he loses, then he loses the Gundam. Like, at that point, he didn't even care. He just wanted the Gundam.
Yeah. And that's when Mr. Rao, who, to make the reference, is more or less Mr. Referee from Metabots. He is here to deliver exposition and to more or less be a referee sometimes. So here's Mr. Rao to deliver exposition to the audience about what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, at first I was like, okay, this is odd. And then the more that he was showing up, I'm like, oh, so he's just going to be here. Got it.
He's just going to show up to tell you what you need to know. That's it. And also for Cheetah later to be like, who the fuck are you? Why are you talking to me? What is happening? What have I stepped into? I don't even know who you are. Anyway, the 2 of them now start fighting, and unfortunately Sei gets backed into a canyon and is backed up against the wall of the arena as Sasaki's going to throw him out of the arena, because that's a thing you can do. And I also think that's a thing that barely shows up in the series after this point.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. But Sei makes his wishes for help, and that's when Reggie just shows up out of nowhere. It's like, hey, by the way, I'm here to help. Ooh, what's this do? And takes controls of the Gundam and proceeds to beat the shit out of Sasaki.
After doing a little dance. Trying to figure out the controls.
I incredibly agree with that. Of just like, all right, just gotta figure out what all this shit does real quick. But yeah, he stomps Sasuke in the ground and then just poofs out of existence. Before it was just like, wait, who was this weird redheaded kid that just came into the store when no one was looking and now he's gone?
And
in this really small store?
And I find it funny that Mr. Owl kind of is the only one that is like, about him.
But Seiden proceeds to try to find him because he's like, he wants Reggie to pilot his Gundam because he's really good at it. He looks all over the city, he can't find him. Gets back home. Reggie's been there the whole time eating supper because he's hungry. God damn. And that's episode 1, folks. Which takes us to episode 2, The Crimson Comet. Say's up for breakfast, getting breakfast, and he's mad at Reggie because Reggie decided, no, I don't want to do gunpla battles. I helped you win the one. That's enough. I'm going to bed now.
And he kind of decided to steal his bed too, but
that too, that does help.
Salt in the wind there.
Yeah. So Reggie's now sleeping in because Say didn't even bother to wake him up. And he heads off to school. Reggie eventually gets up after Say leaves. And he doesn't know what school is because we'll get there. Anyway, back over to the school. Say's caught up in designing more for the Build Strike Gundam to not give the correct answer in a literature class. He ends up getting answering a math question, I assume.
A math question. I don't even know if it was even remotely related to anything either.
Yeah. Yeah. But we head back over to Reggie as he's watching the store and is bored because the store gets no customers. So he's like, why am I helping? I don't need to help. There's no one coming. I'm bored now. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go find Say. That'll be more fun. So we cut back over to Say as the class president of the senior class, Yuki, drops by and is looking for Say instead of Gina because Gina's president of the freshman class?
I believe so.
Okay. But he's looking for Say because he's also president of the bottle building club and wants to find out, hey, you want to fight against a strong local person. I want to know more about it. And that's when he finds out that, no, Say didn't win the fight, Reggie did. And he's like, there's someone really good. I need to fight him. Because just to say it, Yuki is incredibly fight sexual. He incredibly loves fighting. He is Goku.
Fair.
Yuki also says he's a fan of Say's work. Meanwhile, we cut over to Gina, who's talking to 2 girls from her class when Reggie drops by looking for Say, and immediately gets in trouble with, I guess, one of the people in charge of Truancy, which is Mr. Gorilla. I don't remember what his actual name is. He's just Mr. Gorilla. He's Mr. Gorilla, man. So, Reggie gets in the fight with Mr. Gorilla Man and more or less solves it by putting the guy in a Boston Crab. And I appreciate the fact that he put this guy in a Boston Crab and then leans into it after a while just to be like, shut up, you. But at this point, Gina has run off and alerts Say and Yuki to this. So the 2 of them get pulled up into the club room to talk about this. Yuki bails Reggie out of trouble by saying he invited Reggie, which I love that Reggie's just like, that's bullshit. Just literally, this is like, that's bullshit. The Say's just like, shut the fuck up. Shut up, you. Stop causing more trouble. Please stop. Anyway, Mr. Gorilla just isn't in a mood for a fight, so he wants to fight Reggie. And Reggie's like, alright, cool. Say, do you have your Gundam on you? And Say's like, yes. And I love how Yuki's has the time to be like, you know you're not allowed to have those, right? Unless you're in the club. And he's just like, don't tell the principal, I guess?
I also love the fact that he still continues to bring it after this, too.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what, you get an exception, it's fine. So we head over to the gym where this setup is, and apparently we didn't get expositions from some random students about why there is this setup in the gym. Like, we need to know that. I think it works because it establishes that Yuki's dad is someone really famous and has a lot of money.
Yeah. It kind of fleshes out his backstory a little bit without going too far into anything.
Yeah. So Reggie and Mr. Gorilla fight. China's also there to look on and gets confused when Raul just shows up out of nowhere to give exposition. Because that's his job. It's to just show up and exposit things. So the two of them fight it out until, I believe it's Mr. Gorilla accidentally blows a hole in the street, and that causes the city that they're in, which is actually a space station, to get depressurized, and the two of them are now getting sucked out into space, and they're both trying to fight it. Which, say Reggie managed to overcome getting sucked into space and actually take out Mr. Gorilla, because even though they were downwind of him, they still managed to, like, beat him to the punch on a strike. By this point, Yuki steps in with his Zaku Amazing, because I'm going to actually name the Gundams of the main characters. Just so we have the names of the main Gundams, at least.
Makes sense. Not like I'll remember any of them, but makes sense.
I don't think I remember the names. I don't think I would remember the names either, unless I actually wrote them down. So don't worry. Anyway, he pretty much demolishes the two of them and forces them to surrender. Because he sees that the build strike is going to complete, and he wants a better fight because he requires good fights. I need better fights. So fight me. So Reggie's on board with this because he didn't like that he lost the kids game. So he wants to fight Yuki now. So he agrees to help Say and be the fighter to his builder in this scenario. But the discussion gets tabled because Reggie gets teleported away to his home planet. Because, by the way, Reggie's an alien. So how'd you feel about these two episodes?
Like I said, I kind of was on the edge until I could make that reference, and I'm like, yep. Now I'm on.
Yeah. It takes the first two episodes to like get a feel for it, but once you get those two episodes, it's like, yes, the show's really good, isn't it? Because like the action in the show is really good too. Because I will say this now, I kind of watched the last parts of at least the last two episodes because they're really good fights. And the same with Build Fighters Try, because you know how they would use the theme song, you know how good shows use the theme song to like accentuate a big fight scene?
Yep.
What if the final fight of the of like the final two fights of this in Build Fighters Try had both openings? Like the first final fight had the first opening, and then the second final fight had the second opening. Because we have two openings per series. And it's literally just that theme song the entire fight. Full, like, 3-minute fight, entire theme song. Like, it's really fucking good. Yeah, it's a little slow, but hey, we got established. Which takes us to episode 3 in our second half full package. So Reggie's training now with Rao, with his stuff using the build strike. And he does well, but Rao wants him to appreciate what Say's built, because Say's built really good stuff, and Reggie needs to appreciate that a lot of time and effort went into that build. And that's half of like what makes this work is the build quality of these Gundams, because that's a quantifiable thing in fighting. I'm not sure how this works. It just does. There's going to be other things as well that I'm just like, this just works. I don't know how. I don't know how you translate this from model to thing. But that's when we get to the really bonkers stuff. Anyway, Say gets back and he takes Reggie upstairs, demanding answers about the fuck are you teleporting? What was that? Who are you? What are you? What's happening? So at this point, Reggie says that he's pretty much a prince from another world, and he found a gem, and it took him to Earth, and now he just hangs out on Earth all the time because he likes it. And Say's like, well, okay, you're an alien. Prove it. I can't take you with me. That's not how that works. And then he's like, well, do you have psychic powers or anything? And he's just like, no. What? Why would I have psychic powers and other bullshit like that?
Also,
and now
I love the fact that he makes the comment of you watch too much anime. It's like,
yes.
wait a minute. You know what that is. You know nothing else about this world, but you know what that is. Good one.
Yep. Yeah. Now but at this point, Say's like, bullshit, you're lying. By the way, he's not lying. The story he just told, 100% accurate. He did not lie a single time. He is legit a prince from another world, and he is legit a fucking alien. Why is that in here? I don't know.
Because reasons.
Yeah. Anyway, after this, Reggie's just like, please just go finish the build strike. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Say's mom gets informed of all this over supper, and she takes it well, like, oh, he's an alien. Okay, cool. It's just like, oh, I love how she's just like, Reggie likes my food. I don't care.
He's nice because he likes my food.
Yes.
I don't care if he's an alien.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah. So now we get a montage in the next few days or so with Say finishing up the build strike. But we follow Reggie to a local bar that Rao's buddies hang out in and cosplay at, because I believe they're all in cosplay of like evil characters from other Gundam shows, probably. And he's just like, you're here to train. And Reggie's like, okay, I'll take the weakest Gundam existence. And it's just like a ball on tracks with like 2 arms. And he proceeds to beat the shit out of everybody at the bar.
In one-on-ones, anyhow. Because we did kind of find that out. Also, did you go quiet or did Discord break?
Discord incredibly broke.
Oh, no it didn't.
I mean, I hope that went through.
It didn't break on my side.
Oh no.
It did not break on my side. At least I don't think it is. Say something. Did that fix problem? Think it's Peace's turn for the internet to go down. Technical difficulties. Now his internet went out too. Yay. Waiting to see what he says. Oh. Are you back?
Oh, I'm back.
Hey, you're back.
I was watching the icon. I was just being like, icon on my computer. I'm just like, oh, I guess I'm sitting here until it changes over. But then I heard you because I had my headset off. I'm like, oh god, thank God.
I looked over. I saw your icon pop back up on the notes, and I'm like, okay, maybe. And then you hop back in Discord real quick, and I'm like, oh, yay, good.
Yeah, it was reconnecting the whole time. Because I thought it just like, oh, this card broke.
Apparently mine was supposed to completely disconnect earlier. Instead, I got a 5,000 ping.
Makes sense.
I'm not joking. That's what happened.
Makes sense. Alright, I'm back. Where were we?
Charter Y.
Indeed.
He was in the bar.
Okay.
Beating everyone in one-on-ones at the moment.
Yeah. So Reggie was cleaning house, and now he appreciates the build quality because, hey, I can fight good, but this robot sucks. I really like Sei's Gundam. I appreciate the work he puts in, but him wanting someone stronger pisses off everyone, and now he has everyone dogpiles on him in a handicap match.
I think it was, what, a 6-on-1 or a 5-on-1?
6-on-1, because Rao wasn't in on this at all. He's like, what? Fuck, guys, calm down. This is not helping. But as Reggie's having to like duck and weave, all of a sudden everyone explodes because Fellini drops by. By the way, he's Italy's champ. Also, his Gundam is a main Gundam. We'll see him. He's in the opening. So he's an important.
Oh, I swear the Discord just broke. Oh my god. Hello? I partially am to blame for that one. I kind of said wide. I kind of said wide charter. That was my fault. Oops. Yep, his internet went again. So we're gonna give it a few minutes and then we might have to call it and do it tomorrow. Are you back?
I'm back on my phone.
Oh. Can you actually do it on your phone?
Maybe.
Because, like, that's a question and a half.
Pretty much. Because I assume there isn't the echo for me to be able to actually hear you.
Actually, I don't think there is echo.
Well, if it works, I at least want to get through this last episode because we're actually almost done.
Yeah, I know. I'm also going to try to boost you at the moment to try to make it sound decent in the stream. I mean, it just mainly sounded like you were quieter, so that's fine. I can deal with that.
Alright. Okay. Where did it cut me off?
When we were talking about the Italian champs Gundam being in the opening.
Yep. So Fellini's now dropped by, he's took out everyone, and now him and Reggie are gonna duke it out for, I guess, the entire night off camera. But meanwhile, we check over with Gina, who finds Sei asleep in the arts room. He's finished completing the build strike, and now it's build strike full package. And he tells her a little bit about it before leaving. And that's when we get a flashback showing how the two of them met. This prompts Gina to actually go to the tournament and watch it, and for her to stick around in the series so that we continue to get exposition. Thankfully.
Which is helpful.
Yes. Once there, we see a bunch of other matches go down. Sasuke and Yugi get their matches done. Yugi meets with Gina before Sei's match. And that's when we see Sei show up alone. Going to fight by himself until Reggie shows up late. Because he is busy fighting all night and his fingers are all taped up. I guess from the controls? I don't know why all of his fingers are taped up.
Yeah, I don't either.
Anyway, with the new full package, he makes very quick work of their round one opponent, and they are done and moving on. And Fellini is very happy that, hey, there's some really cool, strong people in the preliminaries. But afterwards, Gina heads over to the shop, gets a beginner set for her brother. I might be back in Discord proper. We're gonna find out here in a second. And something for herself. So
you might
which will take us to episode.
Yeah,
take us to episode.
Your icon changed, so
Give me a second.
go ahead and proactively change this before you hop back in. Okay.
Alright.
Yay!
Okay.
For now.
Maybe my internet will hold together for this 4th episode, because for fuck's sakes. Fuck's sakes, internet. Anyway. we're off to episode 4, our last episode, Gunpla Idol, Kirara. So we start with Sei and Reggie taking out their second match opponent. They make quick work of him too. But we see it's recorded footage of two scientists studying the mech because they're studying it to figure out how to break it.
I put scientists in quotation marks because I don't think they actually are.
They are scientists in a very relative term. A very, very relative term. But we cut over to Kira now, performing briefly before we get the opening. Who, by the way, that is our opponent this week. As you couldn't tell from the title of this episode.
Yeah, like I said, like I put in the notes, foreshadowing at its finest.
Yeah. Anyway, over to the pier where Fellini and Reggie are talking, and he tells Reggie, hey, don't let your guard down. There might be someone who could kick your ass. Which Reggie's like, cool, I want to beat the person who wants to kick my ass, who might kick my ass, and beat him. But back over the stop, Sei is helping a customer who is a female customer, actually, and is totally not the idol at all in disguise.
Definitely not. I mean...
No. This is when Sheena drops by to get help with the gunpla she bought earlier, but she sees Sei talking with another girl, and she walks away. Even when Reggie shows up, it's just like, oh, that's weird. Afterwards, Reggie asks Sei about the girl, asking if it's his girlfriend, and he's like, no. Don't worry, Sei is not as dense as Reggie's going to be later.
Oh, I feel like he is to a certain point throughout this entire episode.
He is. He's just not as dense. Reggie is far denser.
That I will give.
There is dense and denser, and that's the best way to describe both of them with their relationships later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we see Sei told her about the progress on the build strike. And more or less, yeah, here's your first, real opponent for them. Because this is how, more or less, a lot of the episodes are going to be, paced, where we're introduced to their opponent, we fight their opponent, we solve the fight, we move on. So, nothing super complicated on that front. Oh no, did it cut out again?
Nope, it didn't.
Okay, good. I'm gonna keep the Twitch stream on in the background just to be like, alright, here's my blocker because my icon's not updating, so I can't tell otherwise.
Yeah, welcome to what I have to deal with, usually on a daily basis. Yeah. I thought I figured out the problem, but then the thing that I think fixed the problem might have also caused the problem tonight, so I'm back to square one.
As long as it doesn't do it while I'm at work tomorrow. Which it might. Who knows?
It might.
Oh, God. Anyway. Anyway, the next day, Sei's over talking to Sheena about the what?
You went quiet for a hot second there, and I was like, uh-oh.
But tries to talk to Sheena about the gunpla she bought, and she's still upset at him, because, of course, she is. She finds out later that Sei is incredibly dense and does not understand women at all, because, of course, he doesn't. Because he's just like, she's just a customer. Incredibly so, and this is how he is with everyone.
I love that was what he said, and then he was like, why do you ask? Duh.
Again, dense. Keep that in mind. Sei is dense. Reggie is denser. Reggie is incredibly denser.
I completely can tell that he would be.
Yeah. Anyway, at this point, Yuki actually kind of recognizes her, but can't quite put where she is at the moment. But we cut over to a park where Sei and this girl are talking about the build strike, and she just drops a laxative in his drink, so he has to go take a shit while she tampers with the build strike.
At least it's insinuated that way. It's never explicitly said that way, but yeah, it's fully insinuated that way.
Although she gave it to him too early because he forgot to tell her the one big gimmick that ends up being her downfall later.
Yep. I think I meant to put that in there and I forgot to now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Or did I? I kind of did, but I didn't do what I wanted to. Okay. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but eventually Chino drops by to try to talk to her. It's like, hey, why do you have Sei's gunpla? But Sei shows back up, and that she just kind of walks away after that point. Chino's a bit embarrassed by this, runs off. Sei doesn't understand anything.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you didn't get it earlier, then I'm not going to make a dense comment about this one.
Yeah. But Ral notices what's going on and decides to play Cupid for the both of them. So the next day, Cheetah's not going to go to the venue this time, even though she's just outside. But Ral's like, no, go on, come on, let's go watch. But on the stage, Yuki tries to warn Sei and Reggie about their opponent. And just for reference, because it's only in the background, he's actually leaning up against the door she barges out of, and gets surprised when the door moves on its own. It's a really nice background joke of him just leaning against the door, waiting to watch the fight. It bursts sideways. He's like, the fuck? And he's just watching all of this happen to his left. He's just like, the fuck? What the hell? Look, I'm weird, but you're weirder. But this is when Kirie shows up, pretty much confirms, hey, I've been playing Sei this entire time. Also, I kind of fucked the build strike and have made it to where an arm and a leg are going to fall off, so now you're fucked. Which at this point, Sei just is like, alright, fuck you. Reggie, hit her with the flyer. Because we find out that the build strike its backpack can turn into its own little flyer, and it obliterates Kirie in like 5 seconds. I just love how Sei's just like, oh, so that's how we're playing this.
Yeah.
Reggie, blow her up. just get this done. I don't love how even Reggie's not super upset about this, but it's just like, oh, we got shit to do too. Like, no hard feelings, but you're going down. Like, they're not even that upset about getting sabotaged. They're just like, oh, you just didn't do it hard enough. Okay.
Try harder next time.
Yeah. But yeah, Sei, after they win, Sei still believes in her. Since she did learn all of this to be an idol, but she doesn't really believe in it. And he's like, oh, maybe I can get her to actually love this. And Reggie's like, fucking fat chance on that one there, son.
Yeah, I love the fact he's just like, yeah, just cut your losses now. Nope,
yeah,
not worth it.
By the way, you have someone else who can do so. At this point, Sei and Cheetah actually head back to the shop to build her gunpla and I guess repair the build strike at this point. And it's not in your notes, but because there's actually a scene after the ending credits.
Yeah, I realized that with the ones you did.
Yeah.
I've kind of been in the habit of, because of Ichigo, I've kind of been at the point of when the end of the episode hits, I'm going ahead and starting the next one.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that until the 4th episode. because I let it play through and I saw the extra scene. And I was like, fuck, right, there's scenes after the end credits. Shit. How many did we miss?
It's one of those, after seeing where you added that in, I'm like, okay.
Honestly, they're like quick little
that.
one. Yeah, they're honestly like quick little 1 minute scenes. Like the Cheetah and Say at the shop thing is actually the end credit scene, and I don't think there's one for episode 2 or 1. So it's only this one in episode 3. Because episode 4's one is Yuki meeting an old friend of his, telling him that their master is ill and he has to take up his name and abandon his name as Yuki. Which is more or less his plot line for the entire series. But that's our 4 episodes. How'd you feel about them?
I like it. And that's kind of hard for me to just be flat out with on a lot of shows early anyhow.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly feel like there's not been too many that we've actually done that this early I can be like, yeah, I'd be willing to go through the rest of it.
Well, it helps that we only have 25 episodes to play with, so it's like we ain't got time to fuck about. We gotta go. We got 25 episodes. We got to go.
The other thing is, I wonder if Rider would be better if we had shorter episodes.
You mean shorter seasons?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I think so.
And I don't just mean Ichigo.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I actually brought this up during 01 even. I kind of feel like it should have ended a little bit before the actual end.
Yeah. Because Garo and Ultraman are this way too, where they're only like 20 some odd episodes and then they're done, and then you wait like half a year or so. I think half a year or a year for another series. So you have a bit of a break before the next series comes about.
I almost feel like maybe Rider doesn't need to go this short.
Yeah.
But maybe have more of a floating scale, as opposed to saying, okay, you've got to get between 45 and 50 episodes. Maybe just saying, okay, if you've only got a 30 episode season, sure, we'll roll with it. Because let's be honest, if Decade went in the 40s, would that have not made it worse?
Yeah, it would have.
And by no means am I saying that Decade's good, but where it stopped was good. It didn't need to keep going. It had no reason to. Whereas Double kind of needed all of it. And that's a good back-to-back comparison, truthfully. But then we've also got shows like X-Aid and Build that we had to have the final villain last way too long because they couldn't go shorter. I feel like if the pacing is on par with what we're seeing with Build Fighters, then maybe a lot more shows should look at that and be like, that might be the smarter option.
Yeah, and bear in mind, this is still a toyetic series. Like, I checked the numbers. It still has to promote, like, 30 different model kits over the course of its entire series. But granted, like, 13 of those are pretty much just, like, weapon packs, and, like, the backpacks, like the backpack for the Build Strike Gundam. So really, it's like, it's got to promote, like, 17 model kits, more or less.
So
of its own material.
So that's your fight of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, basically.
Bear in mind, I also think like 3 of these are Saiyan Reggie stuff, at least. and the rest of these are just other stuff that appear in series. And that's just what I have at the moment. There's probably other stuff.
I mean, I'm more using Rider as a direct example.
Mm-hmm.
But truthfully, there's a lot of shows that this kind of mentality would be better.
Yeah, like I said, like Ultraman and Garo are about the same length for their series, and they make that 25 episodes work. They make their short runtime work. They blaze through material out of, like, not necessarily a breakneck pace, but like a pace that works, where it's just like every episode like is really good, matters, and we like bounce from episode to episode with like just like, hey, we got some momentum and we don't lose it. And this series, I don't think ever really loses its momentum. I think we still have like the occasional one-off episode, but it's just like, hey, here's more or less a Gina episode that we just drop into real quick as we intermission between like 2 major fights. If I remember right. I'd have to look at the playlist here real quick.
Which, that's not a problem, but I mean...
Hell, we even have like...
I feel like, especially looking at Rider, and I'd have to think Sentai's probably in the same boat. There's just too many episodes. And not enough content.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem.
Yeah. You know, maybe adopting what, weirdly, the break we had between, I believe it was Lupat and, Ryu Solger. The break we had between the two of those was like the 4 weeks we had the Psycho Battle special. Maybe having a break like that, having like a 4-week break, but there's still something in the time slot of just like, here's this one-off special that is 4 episodes long, and it's just whatever we threw together for 4 episodes.
Or you know, what they could do too is do stuff akin to like the V Cinema stuff and do it in show format.
Yeah, just like break up a V Cinema over like 4 weeks, like that. That I'm sure people would be incredibly on board with just, here's a V Cinema broke up over 4 weeks as like a little mini series.
Because I mean, if you think about it, any more the secondary writer more than likely gets one. The last, actually, quite a few seasons of Rider, especially, has had more than just 2 writers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a potential for at least 2 of them out of every season.
You know, I just had a pitch idea. 4-episode special. It's an AIM special, and they're trying to solve a mystery.
Oh, God.
Like, that works, doesn't it? That's just like Fua, Yaiba, and Naki going to solve a mystery, and it takes them 4 weeks to solve it.
Except if you put Fua in there, then it would only take 1 because he would force the answer open.
Incredibly true. That's why the twist is he gets taken out like halfway through, then it becomes a Yaiba Naki special. He gets put in the hospital because he went too hard. It's just like, well, this is just the Yaiba Naki show now. And then everyone's just like, okay, cool. Just everyone's okay with that now.
What's bad is you knew I was right, so you didn't even try to argue it.
No, look, Fua is incredibly the battering. Just like, nope, we solved the problem by punching it. How do we stop him from solving the problem? Punch him hard enough, then they make him not be able to punch things.
I mean, I would say give him a trick progress key, but he would find a way to use it.
Yes. Yes, he would. But anyway, Build Fighters, it's really good. We're gonna keep watching this. We got another 4 episodes, and I think we have our first 2-parter next week.
You didn't do something weird like accidentally split it up, did you?
No, because even if there is a 2-parter, it will just like roll into the next week. It might end up being like a 3-parter.
Well, because the only reason I say that is because I know in the past we've had that happen.
Yeah. I mean, I know I didn't do it for the end of the series because more or less the last 2 episodes roll together really well. So they're together. Although, fuck, I did do it. 20 and 21. It's technically a 2-parter, but it's more of a, oh no, how do we solve this problem? And then the next week we solve the problem. Like, 20 is all the setup.
It still lives. It still lives.
I'm bad at this. I'm incredibly bad at this.
That's okay. By the time we get done with this, we'll have a more comprehensive plot summary for every episode than the wiki has.
Fair.
Episode 4 wasn't in it. That's why I went ahead and did that.
Incredibly fair.
And I believe 5 and 6 and maybe 7 out of the next batch is not in it either. And I'm like, oh, you're killing me here. I was gonna suggest we just use this.
Look, it's because no one bothered to put in recaps for these shows, even though I think the entire Gunpla lines are documented for all of these shows. Priorities, I guess.
But yeah, when I saw it, I was like, this would be helpful. This has it broke up. It's not super wordy. We could kind of skim it and go over it. And then I started hitting the episodes that weren't there, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Next week, 4 more episodes. This week, the usual stuff: Path of Radiance, Up Your Arsenal, Minecraft, and TGS. This week, we get to talk Ubisoft Forward and maybe a Sony thing this week. Isn't there supposed to be a Sony thing this week, or am I imagining that?
Is there supposed to be a Sony thing this week?
I thought I read somewhere there was a Sony thing this week, but I might be wrong.
You're the Sony person, not me.
It's incredibly true. I know apparently we've leaked everything that's in the boxes for the 2 versions of the PS5 are out at the moment because of leaks, but I don't know if there's going to be a Sony thing. There's the Microsoft thing of like, here's the Series S that apparently was in the background of like one of the Xbox people's living rooms for like 3 months ago. It was just there and no one noticed because it was just a white box.
Because it was a white speaker sitting back there.
No, it was just even a white box. You couldn't even see the speaker part. It was literally just a white box in the background, and no one paid attention. Yeah, the Series X and Series S like talk on price and stuff, and we'll get into all of that. Maybe Clock will be around, and he can chime in on how he feels about the S's $500 price tag, or the X's $500 price tag. The S is like $300, right?
I was gonna say $400 because I mean that would be a Microsoft move there.
No, it's a $200 difference. It's only $300. Like it is like there is a massive gap between the X and the S, and it's
it's only more than I care.
Yeah. Fortunately, the S still doesn't have a disk drive, so you're paying $200 less for no disk drive. That's it. But if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate chipping away at that affiliate goal. Add Teachers on Twitter gets you updates when we go live. Next Discord chat gets you Discord link. Drop by, say hi. When I drop out for questions, drop them in. We'll answer them. See you next week, folks.